little bit about, if you will, just the addendum, if you will, what we spoke about this morning, and that is the encouragement and to help try to encourage somebody. If you come in here today and you come in down, maybe you didn't get what you wanted, what you needed, what you desired out of life this week, I'm here to tell you, God's not through yet. Hallelujah. God is not through. He is still at work in every situation. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 15. Do I lack madmen, that you have brought this fellow to behave as a madman in my presence? Should this fellow come into my house? Going over to chapter 22, the Bible said, David departed from there and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brothers and all his father's house heard it, they went down there to him. Now they weren't the only ones. Notice they're not the only ones. Verse 2. And everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in debt. Oh, somebody else say amen on that. Come on. And everyone who was bitter in soul. Now I know you're not going to say amen, but don't worry, there's a few of us.
All right.
Come on. Bitter in soul gathered to him, and he became commander over them. And there were with him about 400 men.
Yes.
For just a few moments this morning, I want to preach into the afternoon hour, if you'll allow me, just a few. I don't need long. But I want to talk about when spent becomes strength. When spent becomes strength. Hallelujah. Let's lay our Bibles aside. Let's lift our hands and let's just magnify God. Come on, somebody just worship God in His presence. Hallelujah, Lord. Which is simply, you don't have to respond, you don't have to give indication, because I know the answer already. Really what it's supposed to do is cause us to look introspectively, if you will, internally into our heart, into our lives, to look at where we're at and just kind of ascertain and determine for ourselves whether we fit into this category or not. The question would be, quite simply, has anybody had a perfect week this week? Now, I think we know the answer, because the fact is nobody has probably had a perfect week. I think I could even go out on a limb here and in fact say nobody has. Even if you've had a good week, it has not been a perfect week. There are still things and problems and issues that have come into your life and into your world. For me, I can tell you that I had a good week. It was not a perfect week. I found out that I've got more car problems and more car issues and more things that need to be fixed than just anybody needs. It's never ending. It's just always something. We got ball joints that need to be changed out. We've got tie rod ends that need to be swapped out. There's alignments that need to be made on the front end. We got door handles that have to be installed and put in so people can get in, get out, the usual kind of thing. I got to get coil packs to put on one motor and swap that out. There's just always something that has to be done. Come on. Always something. Perfect week? No. Was it a good week? Yes. I'll tell you the difference between a good week and just any other kind of week is the fact that somewhere when you and I can learn and understand, as I mentioned this morning, we're not in this alone, church. Somewhere we've got to get and grasp the concept and the understanding that you and I are not in this by ourselves. I know sometimes we feel that way because we're by ourselves in that moment, oftentimes when the news comes that we don't want to hear. Maybe there's nobody else around us, or at least nobody tangibly there. Yes, we hear, and the preacher always talks about, and I always will, that Jesus is right there beside you. But in that moment right then and there, when you can reach out and grab a hold of that hand, that people to go, get all alone in that situation. And maybe it's not just news about a car, but maybe it's something a whole lot more serious when the doctors have told us news that we didn't want to hear and we weren't expecting and we were hoping for the best and yet now the best has not happened.
Praise God.
We feel in that moment almost as if we're alone because we look around and tangibly there is nobody there beside us and in that instant it allows us to go into the realm of the flesh and to think I'm by myself. Nobody knows what I'm going through. Nobody understands where I am and nobody has a clue what it's going to take to get out of this. I can tell you that David was in this moment, that David was in this time of his life. In fact, it was one of the lowest and the most depressing moments that David had ever experienced and had ever gone through in his life.
Come on now. Praise
We
God.
know David and we understand David, and it's wonderful to talk about the good side of David's story. We love to hear the things. He was a man after God's own heart. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds wonderful. He danced and he shouted before the Lord as the tabernacle, the ark was coming home. I'll get it here in just a moment. And he danced so much that he danced his clothes off. He just hadn't heard of the Santa belts. That's the problem. He didn't know about those pants that have the adjustable sides on them. He just didn't realize it hadn't gotten the good stuff yet. But he was so excited and so joyous that he just gave everything to God. He didn't care. He didn't care. He just gave everything to God.
Praise
I
God.
love the stories of these moments in David's life. Sometimes we got to just slow down a little bit and we got to look a little deeper and recognize that not everything in David's life is perfect. How wonderful it was when all the brothers were passed before the prophet and he said, no, it's not this one. No, it's not that one. Come on, you got to have another son. And they said, yeah, there is one more. Hallelujah. And it turned out to be David. And the horn of oil was poured upon him and anointed as he was blessed and made the king of Israel. It sounds great in that moment. And then, of course, he stands before numerous ones and he talks about the bear. He talks about the lion. We talk about the story of David and Goliath. And oh, it sounds good.
All right.
Oh, it just, man, it just gets so exciting. You're just like, you want to hit somebody. Oh, my God. Well, I mean, like a devil, not a person. You just want to fight. You just, oh, man, I feel good. I'm ready to fight because it sounds like a real story. And sometimes we don't talk about it. We don't hear about anybody preaching about David in the cave of Adullam. And we don't recognize that he was a man like you and I has humanity that was prone to depression. He was prone to having moments of lows in his life where he felt like nothing was ever going to get any better. I'm telling you, you need to understand that this life, if it has an opportunity or a chance, will rob you of everything that you have ever had. The joy, the peace, the understanding, the happiness, the ability to smile. It'll take it all away. It'll take it all away. And after you've given everything that you can, and you've fought, and you've struggled, and you've strove for every inch, and you still don't feel like you've gotten anywhere, and you feel like you're completely and utterly spent.
All right. All right.
You feel like nothing else can get any better. Nowhere else in your life is it ever going to be good or better. This is the best that it's ever going to get, and this is
Praise
you're
God.
spent in every way, in every shape,
Thank you, Lord.
form, and
Thank
fashion.
you, Lord.
It's at
Thank
that
you, Lord.
moment. God finally says, now, if you let me, and I know it's a big if because we still have to have enough faith to say, okay, God, I'm yours. Okay, God, I give myself to you. Okay, God, I tried everything that I can, and it didn't work out. So now I yield myself to you. I lay my life before your throne. I put it there at your feet, and I tell you right now, I am willing to say, use me and do with me what you will, God. And if we will take that faith, if we'll take that leap of faith, if we'll just step out and say, okay, God, I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm yours. I'm here. I'm where you need and want me to be, where you have drawn me to. Now do with me what you will.
Praise God.
And that moment when we feel as though everything in life has just spent us. We have absolutely given all and there's nothing left. It is in that moment that God steps in and now can do great and amazing and miraculous and wonderful things and can change your life and your circumstance and your situation and everything that's going on in your life.
Thank you, Lord.
David speaking here said, do I lack madmen? One interpretation says, do I lack people to be of an insane nature in my life? Anybody got anybody in your life that's insane? Or I mean, just, acts insane? I told somebody the other day, I said, they're really not stupid. They just act stupid all the time. And there is a difference.
There you go.
There is a difference. They're not dumb. They just act dumb. And we're on a good hunt. I mean, I'm talking Oscar-worthy, And
That's right. Praise God.
I mean, just some people that just really, really don't act the way they should.
Come on.
And there's some people in our lives that act insane. Now, they may be 3 shades of stupid, insane, and just whatever else. They may be. I'm not the judge and jury of that, but what I do know is a lot of people are not nearly as insane as what they pretend to be. They're really not as crazy as what they pretend to be, but they sure don't mind putting on airs in front of us and trying to pretend to be that kind of person, especially when they are in our situation and we're in the midst of something where we don't need insanity, but we need a voice of reason. We need a voice of calm to come in and to quell the situation and to make easy all of the hard things that are going on.
That's true.
This is where David is. David doesn't need stupidity. David doesn't need insanity. He doesn't need ignorance in this moment in his life. And he said, seriously, do I just lack people around me to act insane? I mean, is that why you brought people into my life that act that way? Is there not enough? If you looked around me recently,
Tell it.
he's thinking, man, I'm living, I'm walking, I'm dwelling in a sanatorium. And now you're going to bring somebody else in because you think I'm just not enough around crazies. It's just not enough crazies. I just need one more. And so you bring somebody else into my life. I know sometimes we feel like, because of everything that's going on in our life, seriously, God, do you need to bring one more thing to put on my plate? Do you not see what I'm going through? Do you not see everything that I'm bearing on my plate already? Do you not see the burden that I'm carrying on a daily basis? Now you've got to let this happen, and you've got to bring more craziness into my life.
Praise God.
I know sometimes we feel that way because we look at situations around us and we think there's no way in the world that we can ever deal with anything more, and then more gets put on us, and we wait. I heard that scripture preached that God will never put more on us than what we can bear. How is He putting more on us still?
Come on.
We feel spent. We've given everything. We have done everything, and there's nothing left. There's nothing left.
Praise God.
Oh, but that's a moment. And then.
All right.
We're spent. And then, all of a sudden, it's just this peace. We can't understand. We can't explain. We don't know what it's all about. There's times in my life, moments in my very life, not somebody else's, but in mine, where I was at my wit's end and I said, God, I cannot handle it. I appreciate that you think I can. I appreciate and I'm flattered by the fact that you just keep allowing things to happen. But I'm telling you, maybe you know better than me, but I'm just telling you what I feel. I don't think I can. I appreciate and I applaud you for all of the flattery and the wonderful gestures, but please stop gesturing and making believe for the thought that I can handle more. I'm spent. I've done everything that I can. I've tried this. I've tried that. I've done everything. I've worked. There aren't enough hours in the day. There's not enough knees to go around. I'm spent and I'm done. I just need some help. I just need you to step in. And I'm telling you, in that moment, in that very instant, in fact, too many times for me to be able to count, never even look for a way out. We give in to the darkness. We give in to what's going on in our lives, and we give in to the fact that we're spent and life is over and it's done, and I may as well just throw in the towel and call it quits.
Come on now.
We essentially do, and God is saying, why? If you just look, there's a way out right there. If you just look, there's a light right there. If you look, there is a blessing in front of you, but you're not even looking anymore.
Come on, bring it
You're
up.
not even trying to find what God has prepared and already. The children of Israel, as they were released from Egyptian bondage, wasn't just a few days from the miracle of epic proportion. Come through the Red Sea, they've come through by the millions on dry ground, only to look back and to see God close it up and destroy the Egyptian army behind them. Gone in one fell swoop. Never even had to lift a sword or throw a spear or throw anything, knife, anything.
All right.
Done, and God brought it out for them.
Praise God.
And now here just days later, they stand at a place called Mara, a place of bitterness. They begin to murmur already. They begin to complain. They begin to say, seriously, did you bring us out here to die? Yeah, I know. I mean, you just brought us through the Red Sea. Yes, I know we've just seen plague after plague after plague as you made it possible for us to leave bondage of more than 400 years. But here we are now, just a few days out, and forget about those miracles. Now we're about to die because the water is bitter and it's poisoned and we can't even drink it. Thank you for bringing us to this place of death. And God is saying, wait a minute, what you didn't recognize is the miracle was already there. What you didn't see is the blessing was already there. What you didn't recognize, because you're not looking for it, is your cave. It's not your place of death. It's your place of restoration and miracle working power. You gotta look for it. Somebody else rise and see the blessings that God has. And he said, listen, you see that tree over there, put it in the water and they'll be able to drink it. The miracle was already there. More than 50 years in the making, long before they had ever arrived at Mara, long before they were ever there, the miracle had been planted, it had grown and had been prepared and made ready for them. Hallelujah. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a cave of darkness and emotional depression. It doesn't matter if you're on the side of a mountaintop and there is no way down. It doesn't matter if you're sitting next to a river of bitterness, of poison. Hallelujah. God's got a miracle that's already in place for you there. It's somewhere you can just get beyond the moment that time can become your strength. Children of Israel,
Praise
the
God.
tree was placed in the water. Immediately the Bible says water was made sweet. You drank. You were nourished. You would no longer murmur, at least at that moment. At that moment, death had been thwarted. They were saved. They were rescued, and so they were good. Hallelujah. I can't complain about them too much because we're no different. We do great on Sunday morning because God comes in and moves and He blesses, and we've been spent all week long, but man, come on Sunday and woo, God moves in the way it has been even today. We leave out of this place charged on fire, and I mean just ready to go, man. I'm ready to run through and smack and hit and do all those things and take on the devil, not people.
Praise God. Praise God.
We're ready to take on the devil, though.
Amen. The devil is a
And all of a
liar.
sudden Monday morning hits. And we realize, wait a minute, the devil hits back. And all of a sudden we're like, well, maybe I'll just, wait till Sunday. I'll take on the devil when we're at church again. We're all there together.
Hey, come on.
Praise God.
We fight, we struggle, we do everything we can. And by the time it's Wednesday or Sunday rolls back around, we're spent all over.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
God wants us to understand and recognize that we got a better way. There's a better option out there. The problem is we got to get beyond the caves. Caves can happen in cave times in our lives. It can happen to anybody. Caves may start through a lengthy illness in the body. We get sick and it just doesn't seem to go away. So before long we feel as though we're in a dark cave. Caves can happen in times of unanticipated job loss. suddenly, of course, now we've got money troubles and issues financially, and seemingly it's hopeless. The needs continue, but the money does not. Cave times in our life commonly occur. Prolonged issues at home, in the family, or the marriage, and the difficulties that are there, and we wonder, are they ever going to get any better? And of course, the issues that we have affect the others around us, especially our children. And we wonder, is there ever going to be a day of light, or are we just going to deal with the darkness? Cave times can occur through a demanding and unreasonable situation, whether on the job or maybe even in life. Maybe it's a loved one or someone that you care about that just never seems to be able to get beyond what they need to allow you to have the freedom to do what you need to do. They constantly need. You're always giving. Jesus just never seems to be any reciprocation whatsoever. Reading not only verses of Scripture, but others found in the Bible, I recognize, and I think we could all recognize and understand that David was in a rough place. He was in a dark place.
Yes.
In fact, it's not just where he was talking about in these verses of Scripture in Samuel, but if you look at Psalm 13, the chief musician, the Psalm of David, he said, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever?" Gives you a little idea, the indication as to where he was at in his mind. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul,
Praise God.
having sorrow in my heart
Right.
daily? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and hear me. Come on, you hear all those others, obviously. You're blessing them. So why not bless me and listen to me this time?
Praise God. Praise.
Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep of death. Lest my enemies say, I have prevailed against him. Lest those who trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in your mercy. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing. Wait a minute.
Yay.
Something's changed here.
Yeah.
Something's changed. Something's different. Let me go back here. How long have you faced? It's my soul daily exalted over me, enemy from the state of death. Man, something changed us. In the midst of his cave,
Yeah. Come on.
in the midst of his dark,
Yeah.
in the midst of everything in his life,
Hey!
feeling as though it was never going to get better.
Okay.
This is as good as it's going to get. If you better just learn to live with it. Something changed within David. And David said, you know what? There's only one thing I can do in a moment like this. And that's worship. God to the Lord. That's what he said in verse 6. I'm going to worship God. I know that I'm down. I know that I'm out. I know that I am spent in every way. Hallelujah. But the Bible says, having done all to stand, just stand. You don't have to move. You don't have to do anything. Just stand. Hallelujah. Let God fight your battle. Let God open the door. Let God perform your miracle for you. Let God change your situation. Having done everything you can on your own, once you are spent, just stand.
Thank you, Lord.
No further. Do nothing else. Just trust in God. Let God have his way and see what can he do.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. I know, God, that I got down in my spirit. I know that I showed a little transparency and honesty. Maybe some people weren't even ready for it. And as they read the words, they may not be prepared. But know this, even if I have a moment in my flesh, I will come back in my spirit and understand that you have dealt bountifully with me. You have blessed me. No The first two verses, David expressed the depths of his soul. His flesh crying out in all of the anguish and all the issues. I don't know that it was even so much that he was complaining as much as he was trying to give us a picture of what was trying to happen, what he was trying to feel in his flesh. This is what I am actually going through. Even if I don't feel this way, it's how my body and my soul are perceiving my circumstances.
Yes, God.
Praise God. Praise Him. That's good preaching.
Something changed in his speech. All of a sudden, his words are no longer what they used to be. His words are no longer, I'm down, I'm out, I've got problems, I've got issues, I don't, I can't, I'm not able, and everything changed to, my God can, my God did. He spoke everything into let there be. Some of us need to stop claiming the worst. Some of us need to stop claiming the negative. Some of us need to stop claiming the death. Somebody needs to start claiming the lives in Jesus' name. I shall not die. I'm in a cave by myself. Those before you may feel that you are tangibly alone, but you are never alone. If you're by yourself for just a moment, I promise you it still doesn't mean
mean you're alone. It just means others haven't gotten there yet. And when they talk about David departed from there and escaped to the cave of Adullam, hallelujah, and when his brothers and all of his father's house heard what was going on. Right. They knew you'd never go through anything without others knowing at least something is happening in your life. And your true brothers or sisters in the Lord, which is why it's so important that you show up to church every time the door is open. Because you can never be alone as long as you're going through it. His brothers and all of his father's house heard what was going on, and the Bible said they went down there to him. They didn't wait for him to get back up. They went to where he was. You've never been down and out.
Come on.
So you don't know what it would mean and what it would feel like to have somebody say, when you get back up, I'll meet you, I'll hug you, I'll love you there. No, how awesome would it be to have somebody to go down to the depths of despair where you're at. The Bible says the poor you have with you always. Now, that is not just talking about no money. It's not just everybody that comes to the house of God is going to be thin and wallet. It's not just that. No. It may be a little thin and wallet upon occasion, yes. It also means that there's going to be some people that we're always going to have in our life that are down and out. All right. They're down and out. Hallelujah. But that also is not just something that we should look at with despair or depression or dread that comes over us. Somewhere we ought to begin to look at some of these as opportunities. And opportunities where God can show up and show out. And my God is going to show up and He's going to show out in my situation. The Bible says that everyone who is in distress and everyone who is in debt, you know what He's getting? He's getting some people around Him that know how He feels. He's getting some brothers and some sisters. He's getting some soldiers and some warriors. He's getting some men who understand where He's at. I've been dedicated to know what you're going through. I know what it's like to be in a cave by myself. You don't have to be alone, and you're not going to be. You're not going to be having He said, everyone who was bitter in soul gathered to Him. They went to Him. They didn't wait for the doors of the church to open up and for all the sinners to come rushing in the latter-day revival that's just going to dump them at the altars.
Hallelujah.
I haven't found it in the scripture, by the way. That was me being sarcastic.
Thank you, Jesus.
The Bible says to go into the highways, the
Yeah.
hedges,
Hey, come on now.
and to compel
Hey,
them
come on now.
to come in.
Hey.
The Bible's commission is go to them. Go and find somebody. Teach somebody. Reach somebody. Hallelujah. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your high place and go down to where somebody is in need and tell you how you build a church. I finally figured out how you build a church. It's somebody who's down and out. And you find that person. And you tell them how you used to be down and out. And how now you're up. Thanks for Jesus. And you're no longer down and out. And you help them build up. They join with you. And then you go find somebody else who's down and out. You find somebody else who's in debt.
Praise God. Praise.
We ought to be running $1 million plus by Sunday. Next week. Find somebody in debt. Oh, come on now. Come on. You don't even have to find them. They're everywhere.
Praise God.
Find somebody in need and go to their need. Tell you what's going to happen when you start doing that. You'll find that not only do you still have moments, yes, when you feel as though you're spent, but that moment will become a strength. That moment will become a triumph for you as you share your story, as you share the gospel, the good news with somebody who is in need, just as you have been, and you watch God change their life and turn it around as He did for you. I wonder if you know somebody today that needs a change. I want you to come, bring them in mind, bring them in your thoughts. We're going to pray one for another, but we're going to pray for them as well. And in Jesus' name, we're going to believe that we're about to gather and go to them and see some changes. To see some changes, hallelujah. Some miracles in somebody's heart and in somebody's life. Why? Because there's too many people that are in need.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you,
What
Lord.
do? We reach them. Oh, you don't know how weary, how tired I am. I do actually.
Thank you,
I
Lord.
do thank you very much.
Thank you,
I'll
Lord.
have you just make up in your mind. You're not the only one that gets tired and gets weary. Everybody does.
Yes.
And that's why He said, whosoever will, you can come. It's not just for the pastor.
That's right.
It's not, he didn't come to seek and to save the ministry.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
He said, I have come to seek and to save that
Hallelujah, Lord. You praise. All about it.
that doesn't know their way, that doesn't know where they're at, that doesn't know how things are ever going to get better in their life. Those that don't know how life is ever going to get better.
Thank you, Lord.
Come to seek and to save those. It's for whosoever. It's for everybody.
Amen, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Hallelujah. Not just the pastor, it's for whosoever will. If you fit that category you want today, these altars are open for you. I want you to come and I want you to do so with your hands lifted up. Make up your mind once and for all. I will not die in my dilemma. I'm not going to die in this cave.